Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be looking at something you might not expect.
Okay.
A press release about a book
Okay.
on air duct cleaning.
Interesting.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound super exciting.
Right.
But trust me, this press release is a surprisingly clever piece of marketing, and we're going to break down exactly why it works so well.
Well, what I think is so fascinating is how they take a topic like air duct cleaning, which, let's face it, is not the most glamorous thing in the world.
Right.
And they make it engaging and fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the press release is actually for a book called Suck It Up.
Yeah, I chuckled when I saw that title.
Yeah.
It's definitely not what you would picture for a, technical manual or something like that.
Right.
So I'm curious, what makes humor such an effective marketing tool? I mean, obviously, it grabs your attention.
Sure.
But how does it actually translate into, selling a product or a service?
Well, humor works on a lot of different levels. First of all, it just disarms people,
Yeah.
When you can make someone laugh, you really lower their defenses, and they're a lot more receptive to whatever message you're trying to get across.
It's true.
Think about it. You're more likely to trust someone who can make you smile.
It's true.
And it also helps create this really positive association with the brand.
Oh, interesting.
You start to think, hey, these people are fun.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd be fun to do business with.
Right. So it's not just about being funny.
Right.
It's about actually building a connection with potential customers.
Exactly. And don't forget the memorability factor.
Oh, yeah.
Like a well-placed joke can stick with you long after you finished reading something.
Totally.
And they even take it a step further with this whole Vacu-Man persona.
Yeah.
Turning their service into a superhero
Right.
fighting against dust and dirt.
Yeah. It's like they've created this whole comic book universe around air duct cleaning.
Yeah.
Which is kind of amazing. It definitely makes the press release more entertaining to read, but do you think there's any risk that this character could come across a little gimmicky?
I mean, sure, there's always a risk with any kind of marketing tactic, right?
Right.
But I think they did a good job here. The key is authenticity.
Yeah.
If the humor feels forced or out of place, it can really backfire.
Oh, yeah.
But in this case, it feels really genuine and consistent with their brand message.
I see.
What's important here is the connection it builds. Instead of just seeing a faceless company, you see this relatable character
Yeah.
who understands your struggles with dust and dirt.
It reminds me of those old school mascot commercials,
Oh, yeah.
that we all remember. They might have been a bit cheesy,
Yeah,
but they were effective.
for sure.
Speaking of effective, this press release uses a really interesting format. It's like you're flipping through the actual book.
That flip-through format is really smart.
Yeah.
It's a clever way to use visuals to communicate
Right.
instead of just a big wall of text.
Yeah.
They've made it more interactive.
Yeah. And I noticed that they use a lot of bolding headings, bullet points.
Absolutely. And that's all about making it easy to read.
Okay.
Respecting the reader's time. We live in a world with just so much information overload.
Totally.
Being able to quickly scan and find the important stuff is so crucial.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh. And it's not just the visuals, that they've put in a bunch of calls to action throughout the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. They encourage you to flip through the book, visit the website, even share your favorite quotes on social media.
Exactly.
It's interesting, though. It doesn't really feel pushy or salesy at all.
Yeah, I think that's because they're not just throwing them in there randomly.
Okay.
They've integrated these calls to action right into the flow of the content.
I see.
It's more like, hey, if you liked this little snippet, you can find out more here.
Right.
It's not just buy our book,
Yeah, that makes sense.
They're guiding you along instead of trying to force a sale.
So it's more about building that relationship with the reader than, just trying to get them to buy something right away.
Exactly. A good call to action isn't just about getting a click.
Yeah.
It's inviting someone to take that next step with your brand.
That's a good point. So beyond driving traffic to the website or getting people to buy the book, what other goals do you think Vacu-Man is trying to achieve with these calls to action?
Well, one big one is just getting their name out there.
Okay, so brand awareness.
Exactly. By encouraging people to share quotes on social media, they're basically turning their readers into mini marketers.
That's true.
Each quote that gets shared is basically a little endorsement.
Yeah.
It helps them reach new people organically.
It's pretty clever strategy.
It is.
And speaking of strategy, something else I found interesting was that list of cities they service at the very end.
Oh, right.
Why do you think they included that?
I think that's super important, especially for a local business like this.
Okay.
By specifically naming those towns, they're letting people in that area know, hey, we're here for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they're saying, we're not some big corporation. We're your neighbors.
Right.
We understand your needs.
Exactly. It just reinforces that local connection.
Like that whole shop local movement.
Totally.
People want to support businesses that are actually invested in their community.
Right. It's about building trust.
And this press release really gets that across.
It does, and it brings up a really important point. Effective marketing isn't just about shouting your message to everyone.
Okay.
It's about making that message connect with a specific audience.
Right.
In this case, they're talking directly to the people in that area, addressing their concerns and offering solutions.
It's fascinating how they combine all these different elements, the humor, the storytelling, the visuals, the calls to action, that local focus. It's like they've woven this whole tapestry.
It really is.
Where every thread plays a part in the bigger picture. I mean, it's really pretty impressive.
It is.
How they've managed to make something as, ordinary as air duct cleaning seem so interesting and compelling.
Yeah.
I got to say, I never thought I would be so into a press release about, dust and dirt.
It's really a testament to just how powerful creativity can be.
Yeah.
This press release just shows us that even the most, boring topics can be engaging and even entertaining if you put in a little bit of ingenuity.
It makes you wonder, what other little nuggets of personality and humor are out there just waiting to be uncovered.
Absolutely. I think the big takeaway here is that good communication, whether it's marketing or, giving a presentation or just explaining something complicated, really comes down to human connection.
So we can all learn a thing or two from Vacu-Man.
Right. By using humor and telling relatable stories and, strong visuals, we can make whatever we're trying to say more impactful.
So it's not just about, giving out information.
Right.
It's about engaging with your audience on a deeper level.
Exactly. Understanding their needs, anticipating their questions, and presenting things in a way that's both informative and engaging.
Well, this has been a super fascinating deep dive.
It has.
Who knew a press release about air duct cleaning could tell us so much about marketing and communication?
It just goes to show that inspiration can be found in the most unexpected places.
Yeah.
It challenges us to think about how we can elevate even the most ordinary things with a little bit of creativity.
I love that. And as we wrap up here, I want to leave our listeners with a challenge.
Okay.
What seemingly boring topics in your life could you make more engaging?
Right.
What hidden stories are just waiting to be told?
The possibilities are endless.
Well, that's it for this deep dive.
Great.
Thanks for joining us.